Fellow Alabama Baptists, we're here on scene at the First Baptist Church of Phil Campbell. This community has been adversely impacted, scores of deaths and many who have been injured. And we have the pastor here, Tim Haney, and he has been on site ministering and doing what he can here through the life of this church and in the lives of these community members. And so we're going to visit with him a few minutes, as we have in other places across Alabama. Tim, tell me a little bit about what happened, how you felt when it happened, and also just reflect on how Alabama Baptists can pray for you as a pastor here and in the people who are trying to go forward.
Well, I got one word to describe. It was scary, because several of us men were standing out in the front, and we saw the cloud form, and we saw it hit the ground, and we ran in, and within 3 minutes, all this, 3 minutes.
Yes. And where did you seek, obviously, go to shelter?
Yeah, we went down to the basement. Of course, it's not all the way in the ground.
Yeah.
It's halfway, but we got them all piled up into the back here as close as possible, because it's the closest corridor, like probably the safest spot. And then when it was over with, immediately people started streaming in. It was bloody and just stuff like that. People were crying. It was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only seen stuff like that on movies, and when I saw all of this, I mean, the basement smelled like blood, and that's something I don't think anybody with a sane heart wants to see or smell anything like that. But just the sights of small children being hurt. One little Hispanic boy, his leg was, somebody picked him up off the street out here, and his left leg had been twisted, and it was all bulged out, and his head was cracked open, and his ears were bleeding. He couldn't speak English. As last I heard, I think his mother and daddy are dead. They are. And then his two brothers, they're dead too. Whole family's gone. And then we lost two of our members. A deacon of ours, he lost his wife and his mother-in-law. And then there were two more members of that same family that were killed over in the same spot. I mean, when it sat down, it was just a straight shot, and within like 3 or 4 minutes it was over with, and you come out and then you see all this.
Well, Tim, I know this is very highly emotional and a great human disaster here, but I also know that your church family is going to pull together. You're already doing so.
Yeah, they've come together, and this place was really bad. I mean, it seemed like everybody came around like ants and just started cleaning it up. The front had trees everywhere. It's almost completely clean, all this was, and so they got my roof patched up, and we're going to have a good bit of work done on the building, but other than that, we're glad we're okay.
Well, and we hate to get into numbers, but as of this moment here on April 29, I believe it is, on this Friday, how many people do you know of, unofficially or whatever, who lost their lives here?
The last count, I talked with our police chief's brother. Of course, he's one of the officers here too. What's his name? Terrell? And he said the last count was 20, I think he said 27.
Okay. Well, if you were saying one word to Alabama Baptist, what would you want Alabama Baptists to know and hear?
Pray for our town, because half of our population has been displaced. And the tax base is going to be hard to recover from. I just talked with the family over there that ran one of the most prominent restaurants here in town, Chat and Chew, and they don't know if they're even going to reopen it. And it's just going to take many years for it to recuperate, and it's horrible. I mean,
well, Alabama Baptists, you can see firsthand the kind of passion and heart that this pastor has for his community, and this has unfortunately been replicated across the state in many different ways, especially in the Hackleburg, Phil Campbell area. And you've already seen by video some of the other impacted areas. You be sure and pray for Tim Haney, the pastor of First Baptist Church, Phil Campbell, and know that this is one person here with the boots on the ground and his heart's in the work here. Pray for his church family. And remember that your gifts through the cooperative program and giving to disaster relief will help him and his church family help those in need here. Blessings to you as we continue to do Great Commission ministries together.